action. I hope the audience has its popcorn ready, because this is going to be a drunk classic and butter on top fueled popcorn and beers. By the way, welcome to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. Welcome in. Is that the banquet beer again, Josh? Is that what we're working with again?
Il Banquete.
I love it. It looks so sexy.
It's
that
such a good
bottle,
beer, dude.
little barrel.
It's got to be cold, though.
It's in honor of you taking a trip this week, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to head up to the Rockies and go have some real beer, but this is also where beer comes from. I could have worded
originally.
that
Since
the
dawn of time. No.
Ancient Buddhist monks in Colorado.
That was the most Josh statement. Like that fits your caricature perfectly. Yeah, it started there.
Oh, you mean like my online avatar, the person that I present to the world? Interesting.
Exactly.
More on that later.
They don't get to see the drunken nipples at every movie we go to. It's really weird. That's how this podcast got its name. I don't know if you know, is we'd go to the movies with Josh, and he would slide in with some vodka disguised in a water bottle, argue with the movie theater. What do you mean I can't bring in water? It's a free country, isn't it? And then by the second act, his nipples would be out.
Have I done that?
So drunk he doesn't remember. So drunk he doesn't.
I might as well have done
that. But you know what? I think Jennifer Lopez is saying, have I done that? Have I done that with our butter on top this week? As the best way I've heard it described, again, the movie is going to be Atlas this week. We had to do a pivot because our co-host Jordan decided to give us a movie that doesn't come out for another week as our butter on top. So we pivoted, we did Atlas, and the best example I've heard of this movie, and it was very well described, it's a 50-year-old woman playing a 36-year-old woman talking to an AI about being a human.
Yeah. Oh, J-Lo, yeah, she is no longer Jenny from the Blockbuster. She is not good. This movie had a big budget.
Not good.
Yeah, so this movie had a huge budget for Netflix, but where did that budget go toward? Because the writing was bad, the acting was bad, despite a decent cast, I guess. J-Lo in particularly was bad, as I mentioned.
Sterling cried, man. Sterling K. Brown cried.
Yeah, he probably wants this one back. I mean,
yeah,
he doesn't want to give the money back because I'm sure the check was very, very good. The CG in this is just laughable. It is so bad. It plays like a Sci-Fi Channel original movie.
The dialogue doesn't make sense. The dialogue also plays like a Sci-Fi original movie.
Yeah,
she gets into it, and then she looks at the guy and she goes, "It's morphin' time," and they're like, "J-Lo, wrong movie. J-Lo, wrong movie." You're not. We had to put you in a movie where you're 30 because you can't play a teenager despite what you think. Okay, so we just put you down to 30 years old, and we'll just go from there. We'll just roll with that.
Yeah, that's where the budget went, is the anti-wrinkling, and then of course putting the CGI butt jiggle on her robot. That was a lot of the CG.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Simu Liu desperately needs Shang-Chi Part 2.
Yes.
That poor guy, man. He's just biding his time for them to really get this his character going in that MCU.
I guess
he was fine in Barbie.
Yeah, he was. I think a big part of it, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Asian community thinks he's ugly and not a good lead.
You scared me away. It's rare. You had me ready in the other direction. Okay, finish the thought. Go ahead.
No, talking about J-Lo butt now. Get back to it.
There's just so many elements of this movie that are just unnecessary. The whole movie was unnecessary. This did not need to be made. There are so many different points where you could have said, Stop the madness. That's
That's
that
what
alarm.
you said.
Exactly.
Fire alarm right there.
Thank you. Yes. Great. I'm coming built in with my own sound effects now. So, this movie was a popcorn.
Yeah, I agree with you. The dialogue also between the commanding officer and JLo was just super corny. There's a scene at the end that's supposed to be like touching and heartfelt, and I was just like, "That's stupid." So that was my absolute reaction right there. It's like someone named this plant something stupid. It was me. It's obviously a beautiful name, and I was like, "Are we just lazy now? Have we given up on writing?" Like,
unobtainium. That broke the glass ceiling for bad,
right?
bad pronouns or proper nouns.
Yeah.
Just everything's terrible in this movie. Like I said, Sterling K. Brown tries real hard. He has a good scene with Simu where he's being tortured, and I think that was honestly all they should have put in the trailer, and I would have watched it. But instead, we get J-Lo in the trailer because she's got to be. I mean, the best part of this movie has been the interview circuit.
Really?
The best part of this movie has been the interview circuit. Yeah, because Sterling K. Brown, if you watch the interview circuit, there's clips all over Twitter, there's clips all over Instagram where he's just making fun of her, like in her BS. And it's legit like the funniest thing, and I wish I could remember all of them. But there's one where she's talking about how hard she's fought, and like over the last couple of years, he's like, "But are you though? But are
Really?
Yeah, he just keeps doing it to her. And she's like, people forget I'm from the Bronx. And he's like, how could they? he just keeps hitting her with Barb. Yeah.
He's had to listen to it all stinking week,
Yeah.
Like dealing with it. He's just done. I think everybody's done. We saw that J-Lo had to cancel her tour. And it's like people are fed up. They're done with her. She's so, like, at some point, stop being full of it and just embrace it. I think that's what's happening with Madonna. She just embraces who she is. Like, she's herself. She doesn't constantly feel like she has to remind you. And she's having a great tour, and people are going out. What's that?
Or Lady Gaga, there's an authenticity there, and they are putting on a persona, of course, but you feel their vibe. And J-Lo is just like, we know you're putting on a show. And do you know you're putting on a show? I don't know.
Is this still who you are? You know what? I think she's just gonna have to go to the well and do Selena Part 2.
Dang.
It's a popcorn. It was not good. It's an example of just your Netflix doing it as an assembly line of movies at this point, just like an assembly line, just cranking out bad movie after bad movie after bad movie. And this is another one. We'll see how Eric goes. Right now, I'm into Eric episode 1, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay. Cumberbuns?
Yes, Mr. Cumberbuns. Thank you, Josh. I loved that wit that you have to introduce us to Benedict Cumberbatch. You also introduced Jordan and I to a new movie this week, Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue.
And we watched it. We both watched it.
Oh,
and
no,
luckily it's short. So thank you for that.
With a woman? Was it
so Josh, why don't you lead us off?
Okay.
Talk to us about what you had us watching.
Okay. Well, I know that I'm going to be arguing with a lot of what you guys say, so I'm going to keep mine short because I'm going to interject. I'm going to interject later.
He put up his fists right away.
Okay, so this is probably doesn't like anime largely, and I understand.
Yeah.
I know where you're coming from. I think this is a great example of how diverse the genre really is. This is not fairies and princesses with awful dialogue and overtly sexual themes. There's overtly sexual themes. Let's calm down for a second. But a lot of the blanket anime is catered to like 14-year-old kids who are prepubescent and whatever. And so
I misheard you. I thought you said you were going to say this was catered to 14-year-old kids, and you threw me off. I had to.
No.
Like what?
Go ahead, this is a very adult themed show, movie, film, and it's from '97, and a lot of times
99.
my friend Fry will say something like, I thought it was 97. Excuse me.
Google said 99.
Well, Google. A lot of times Fry will say something to the extent of, why couldn't this just be live action? You know, but this is anime, and it's because they can do things with the animation that you couldn't really, first of all, accept in real life. Like, that's some brutal stuff going on. And the cartoon kind of softens it, sort of like how Family Guy, South Park have the most crude humor, but it's because it's a cartoon, it's easier on the palate, sort of. I don't know how to say this. Anyway, let's get to the meat of it. I saw this when I was a kid, scared the crap out of me, always had me thinking ever since. This is a mind bender. It's been a while since I've given you guys the gift of a mind-bending film. I love the themes. I love how it's seemingly ahead of its time. It's from a time when chat rooms just started, and it's dealing with stuff that exists today, like web avatars, and how your presence in the public is not the same as who you are, and you have to differentiate that, and you have to be healthy with this, and then people get the wrong impression, and blah, blah, blah. Stalkers, psychopaths, losing your mind. What is reality? There's so much going on. I love movie within a movie stuff a lot. You know, sometimes people do it wrong. I think this movie did it right. And it's very inspiring to a lot of films, which I think you guys will touch on later. I love the film. It's really shocking, very brutal, hard to watch. I love the ending. Still has me thinking. I give this a popcorn and 2.
I think it's both. I think it's inspiring and was inspired by multiple films, right? We've got a lot of different movies mixed in here. Lots of identity. We already had the discussion about Requiem for a Dream.
Mm-hmm.
I did some YouTubing on this one after I watched it, just so I can get my mind right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched a couple things about like where the what is the word I'm looking for here? The influences were coming from. And a lot of it has to do with like the psychological thrillers from the past. There's like elements of Hitchcock involved here. There's stalkers and like classic swim fan narratives, right, going on here. Then there's like the method actor portion of this, where maybe this person's just a method actor. Maybe that this is all in their head. Maybe they're too deep in the role. The Jared Leto Joker thing going on.
Yeah.
But my first comment, I just got to be honest with you, was, Josh, what the bleep? That was my first comment. That's the first note I wrote down. And then next line, rape scene was the next line I wrote down. Wow. And then wait. Second rape scene was the next thing I wrote down, but it's right there. Oh, you thought we were done? You thought we were done? Nope. Yeah. We're gonna get crazy. And now it's gonna be Chunk's best friend from the Goonies that's gonna get it. Okay, like it was a lot going on, and then maybe we think a third one when we find out the final act is going on, and we actually get a little bit deeper into what's going on. Is she gonna do it too? Like, also, wow. The fat girl can move. Fat girl can move. She got it. She was moving better than Lizzo on stage. She was grooving.
Wasn't that a cool scene though, when she's like, her character, she's floating basically, but you see the reflection in the mirror where she's actually just like a monster. It was there's so many great shots in this, and they deal with tension so well and building up. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if they deal with it so well. I think they express it well. How about that? We'll say that. They do a great job of having the characters emote.
I know what they're going through. He's just really expressive.
Yeah, I get it. Did I need it in my life? I don't know. I don't know that the animation was that great in this one. You're on about it, but I've seen much better animation and much better graphic work, and I'll talk about it later when I'm talking about one of the films I reviewed. But it is also, I had to look at it through the lens of 1999 as well. I'm like, okay, this is probably pretty innovative for the time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's the ultimate method actor story, or is it? Maybe it's a stalker story. End of this movie was stupid to me. I didn't like the end. I could have lived without the end completely.
Really?
It could have just been them calling an ambulance. I didn't need closure at all
There's
at
no
the end
closure.
of this movie. I was
I
like,
don't have
nope,
closure from this
don't.
movie.
I don't.
She's in my head.
I think there is a little bit of closure at the end. I could have done with him saying, "Call 911, call the ambulance," and maybe an ambulance rolls up, roll credits. I'm done. Boiler room style, get her out of here. Cool.
Oh, see, the ending for me, like that last line where she looks
mental health hospital,
but she looks in the mirror at that last bit, and that kind of left me cold. I'm thinking like, oh, she's still crazy. She just thinks she's not. I think it was like one of those.
You think the actress is crazy?
Yeah. Well, she was clearly like. She was clearly half losing her mind.
I think the actress was driven crazy. Sorry, Jordan. Go ahead, Jordan. I think she might have been driven crazy, but I don't know that she was crazy.
Oh, what's your rating?
Yep.
I give it a pop 1. It was a ride. It's not a bad movie. I don't know that I needed it. It was definitely a ride. It was a ride is the best I could say. It is too gratuitous with some of the stuff it does. It's not Family Guy, American Dad like you're saying. It's a little too much at certain points.
That's extremely heavy.
Yeah. I give this a popcorn. I think it's just more out of personal preference. Yeah, God, the rape scenes, like you said, I really don't like animated nudity. Like it really like makes me like, oh God, why? Like it just makes me think about. I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it.
Jordan's watching the movie like, am I a pervert now?
Yeah, this makes me really uncomfortable. Most of the movie, I'm kind of like, what's happening? It starts off really strong. Like, I kind of like where this is going, like the first 30-ish minutes. And then it just like keeps slapping on layers and layers and layers that I'm just like,
let's
all right. It's nice. Like, this is good enough.
Okay.
The weird guy is obviously like, supposed to be like the killer. I mean, he's not really, but he is, but he's not, but he is. He looks like
you guys.
I thought he looked like the killer from that Paris Hilton scary movie, that House of Wax movie.
Yeah, House of Wax.
I was like, that is exactly like they stole that. The House of Wax movie stole that character from this movie. Or he
Paris Hilton too.
Yeah, he looks like what. He has like two forms. He has no eyeballs, and he looks like that guy. But then when he does just kind of look kind of like a regular guy, he looks like he's like half manatee or something.
Yeah,
like he looks like a weirdo. Yeah.
With Dr. Jekyll strength or Mr. Hyde strength.
Yeah, it was every character but the main character looked like they were inhuman somehow. Like her friend's eyes are on two separate sides of her head for like most of the movie. I'm like, what is going on here? Yeah.
She has the best peripheral vision in the whole movie, though.
What was that?
Yeah, she should have saw this coming.
Hey! A strong parallel that we haven't mentioned yet is it's not like a direct influence, but it's clear that the themes are similar. Black Swan was a great parallel to this movie.
Very good. Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it is good.
But what's real, what's not, who is this person talking to me in the mirror, et cetera, identity. And that's kind of where I take the ending for this movie. I feel like it was a Black Swan ending where it's like, oh no, I'm losing it. And that's fine.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that
that's
at
fine.
all.
I mean, it's not exactly meant to be open ending.
Prisms.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I'm glad you guys saw it.
It's super dated technology-wise. Obviously, it's from the late 90s. But there's just a long, like watching it now, there's like a long kind of breakdown, too long of like what the internet is, like being explained to her. And then she's typing out a web address and she actually types the HTTP and I'm like, stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing. She says it.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch it in English?
No.
Oh.
I had to read it, yeah.
I had to read it too. I was pissed about it.
And also, what else I was pissed about is I was watching this. It's quite hot here in the Bay Area.
Watching with the windows
open. With the windows and the doors open.
Oh, man, that's good.
I could just feel a single bead of sweat going down the side of my head. God. Taking out my garbage cans the next day, like, don't make eye contact with the neighbors. Don't make eye contact with the neighbors.
The lady walking her kid to school when you watch, it's just staring you down.
Thanks for the morning, guys.
This was a popcorn.
Popcorn. All right.
This was a popcorn. Okay, all right. Well, let's get into what we were watching. I watched Tires. I watched Tires. You guys liked it a lot. It's fine. It was fine. I think that people that like this a lot are either spun up in the people that are in the show, that star on the show, which is fine. Like, those are your people. That's good. Okay, I accept that. But honestly, if you think this was unique or different, you've never seen a Netflix sitcom. It's literally an assembly line. Same humor as like Space Force, Blockbuster, Kaminsky Method, like it's the same exact jokes. I'm sitting here like, yeah, these jokes were rerun. Like, sure, the delivery might be a little different. Like, let me go sell this to this really gorgeous person, but I don't think I'm that gorgeous. I don't have the self-confidence. Oh, but this person has self-confidence. But I'm going to go out and save you. But if I save you, I'm going to do it in my own way that's going to trick you into having doing something. I'm just like, yeah, these jokes are played out. Like, I've seen
scenarios. You're saying the scenarios.
Yeah, and the delivery. I'm saying maybe you feel like the delivery is different. I'm watching it. I'm seeing almost like, I feel like someone needs to do a YouTube of every like Netflix sitcom and then just show it side by side and see how similar these deliveries are.
What is the deal?
I'm going to give this one a popcorn and 1. I'd be lying if I said it didn't make me laugh. Like, there were funny parts. Like, the car wash was funny. And it was funny just because of I actually looked up the actress that he was super into. I was like, who is this? Like, why have I never seen this person before? And she's a stunt person. Like, she's actually a stunt actress. And I was like, okay. He's like, and so she's probably doing all her own stunts in those scenes.
That was a funny stunt that she did.
Yeah.
That was funny.
it was funny. Like, she did a great job playing it off, and she was good at it because that's actually her job. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a popcorn, maybe a popcorn and 1. I don't want to be like stingy with it. We'll see what season 2 brings. Hopefully some originality. Right now, I disagreed with you guys. I did not see a ton of originality. I did not see a ton of The Office humor. I saw a ton of Netflix sitcom humor, which is, to me, all the same. Jordan, what about you?
Oh, I finished watching that John Mulaney, Everybody's in L.A., little talk show special that he did. What really shined in this, it was very weird. It's very weird, and the guests continuously mention throughout how weird it is. It's like awkward Eric Andre. Like, he kind of brings on his guests and just kind of makes people uncomfortable and just does weird things that everybody's confused by. A lot of his time, his guests don't know how to react, or they're kind of just silent, sitting there like, this is very weird. But he does have guest stars on to act as people. Like, he has Will Ferrell on as the guy that sits courtside at Laker games, the weird guy. He has
Jack Nicholson?
No, sorry.
Spike Lee.
No. He has Andy Samberg there. His name, that guy, Jimmy Goldstein, that's at Laker games, and like the sparkly, the old guy. No. That was one of the best parts of this whole series.
I know Jack Nicholson.
No, not him. He was hilarious in that. Richard Kind is his co-host. You might know him from Curb Your Enthusiasm as the cousin, the really loud guy. He is just a treasure. I love that guy and everything he's in. He's great. The 5th episode of this series was the best. So if you just want a quick laugh, pop that on. There's no context to it. It's hilarious. I give the show popcorn and 1 though.
Pop and 1 overall, and it's his first venture into like late night television. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he could do it. I think it's a good spot for him eventually. I watched season 1 of Righteous Gemstones.
One of my favorite television shows of all time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite TV shows ever.
And I don't know what it is.
It's so good.
I love, what's his name? Kenny Powers. Danny McBride. I love that. I love that guy. I love Goggins too. He's hilarious.
Goggins is amazing.
Yeah.
Goggins is so good. Goggins, have you seen Vice Principals yet?
No, I'm going to though. Next. After I finish this. Yeah, I'm going to watch that. I've definitely watched Eastbound and Down. It was a show that before, because it was early on in HBO days, right? When that first came out. Well, not like, it was a while ago.
It was a COVID show for me. I had never watched it, but all my friends had like recommended it, and then so COVID hit, and I just powered through every single episode, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it was something I saw YouTube clips of, and I was like, man, I want to watch this show so bad for a long time. And I watched Eastbound and Down. I loved it. This one, I don't know what it is about. I was like, it was always something that was on my list. Like, I don't know if I want to watch this right now. Like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. And even episode by episode, I was like, this was hilarious. Like, I love this episode, but I don't know if I want to watch another one right now. Like, I just couldn't binge this show for some reason. I watched it maybe so one, maybe like 2 episodes at a time.
Some comedy is so dense, you have to take a quick break to process all the jokes that were thrown in.
That's a fair assessment. I definitely.
Man,
but
Eve Patterson is so good in this show.
She was fantastic in this show.
She's so funny.
Yeah,
she's great. Yeah, it's all. I love really the subject matter of this because it's just so apparent, and I love what they are making fun of in this because it's something that definitely needs to be ridiculed. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I give this a popcorn in 2. I give the show
popcorn in 2.
Yeah, John Goodman's great in it as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Everyone in the show. Yeah.
Was he a main writer on the show? Was McBride a main writer on the show, or just in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Writer,
I heard
producer.
About him recently, he's got like the dream life. He moved up to North Carolina with all of his writer buddies and their families. Now they all live on pretty much the same block, and they just write. And they live in North Carolina together. It's like the writer's commune for rich people. That's the American dream.
Yeah.
You know, he started out bartending in Los Angeles and Berkeley at a Holiday Inn.
Wow.
Nice. Small beginnings.
Yeah, he said his big break was the Foot Fist Way. Like that was his big break, and then Hot Rod came along. Yeah, Hot Rod came along, and he just started stacking. You know, he got in with the Seth Seth Rogen, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Is it Rogen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why did it's because I don't want to say Joe Rogan. That's what keeps throwing me off. I
always want to say Seth Green.
That's a different movie. That's a different life. If you get mixed in with Seth Green, now we're doing Without a Paddle. I got in an Oscar movie. I'm trying to keep going. I'm trying to watch every single thing. And there's a bunch that they're still on my list that I haven't gotten to yet. But I got to Godzilla -1. And I can see why it won effects. It was so good. But Godzilla yes, there it is. There's Godzilla. Godzilla -1, it was kind of corny, to be honest. But the graphics, you cannot get away from. Like, it's old school Star Wars-esque graphics where you got like some cartoonish, almost claymation style movements with Godzilla, but at the same time, it looks real. Like, it looks super real, and you're looking at it like, man, this actually is really cool looking with the special effects, and you kind of get into it. The sound mixing right from the beginning is so beautiful with the way there's a scene where a jet fighter flies in and it's rattling and the wheels are hitting and you're watching it. And it's, like I said, like very Star Wars-esque. It's almost like it's on a string as they're lowering it. And it's really beautiful, though. It's very pretty. Like when I'm saying that, I'm saying it's almost like that style, but so well done. It's very precise. The set designs are very beautiful. It's centered around a failed kamikaze pilot, all about him feeling like he's lost his honor. You find out why he feels like he's lost his honor later on. Some stuff is annoying. There's going to be some annoying stuff in the writing because they kind of try to fit in a love story, which we all know I love. Which they do, though. They try to fit in a love story. They do a little bit of a better job in this one than they do in a lot of other films. But overall, I'm going to say this was a popcorn in 2, and I think everyone should watch it. I think it's important to not get rid of this style of visual effects creation. I think it's important to embrace it still.
Yeah, I will be watching that as soon as I possibly can. I've been dying to see this. So
yeah, I've been hearing the same. A guy I work with, he's the biggest Godzilla fan I've ever heard of, and he said this is his favorite one. So
it was good. It was good. It was good. And it was fun, and it was cheesy in the best way, I think. You know, like when you think about it. And I think everybody should watch it if you can. I think it's got a little something for everyone. Jordan?
Yeah. So I watched Pearl on, I think it's on Amazon or HBO Max. I don't know which one it's on. It's on one of these. It's on one of these things right now. It's free somewhere. You can watch it. In my horror friends family group that are into that stuff have told me many times to watch Pearl. And I fought it because I hated X, which is the movie, the first movie in this series with Mia Goth. This was a prequel to that they teased.
X is where they try to go out and make the porno, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
with Kid
I have
Cudi
seen that.
and what's her name? Wednesday Addams, Jenna Ortega.
Oh, I forgot Jenna Ortega was in that.
Yes, Jenna Ortega is in it. Yeah, she has an underwear
It is a forgettable
scene.
movie, though.
She has an underwear scene that you might have seen on the internet a lot. Anytime anything with Jenna Ortega comes out, that resurfaces online. Just saying. Just stating the facts. Yeah.
Wait till you see the clips from the Miller Girl, because that's.
Oh yeah, every time. Yeah. I'm like it's okay. Anyway, I'm not going to touch that. Prequel. It was a prequel to X, and it was just. Was it necessary, really? Because, and then they have a third installment coming out. What's it called? Maxine with 3 X's.
And that's like 40 years in the future or something.
Yeah, it's a sequel to X. And it was coming out soon, and I was like, okay, I'm probably, I guess, going to end up watching that. So I had to watch this one. And I did not like this movie watching it throughout the movie. Like, I was just like, I don't like this. At different sequences, I still don't like this. It's horribly dark, like most things are now. There's a lot of what the hell is going on because it's so dark. But there is some very, very good, vibrant color contrasting going on here. Like the color schemes throughout scenes are really, things pop. It's really, really cool how they do it. 39 minutes into this hour and 40-minute movie, she just takes a lot of baths in front of her invalid father. Yes, she does it like 2 or 3 times. She's just taking a bath.
Were the windows open for this one too?
And she dry humps a scarecrow to completion in the first 40 minutes of this movie.
Wait, which one of them completes?
Where's the drum? Hit the stair.
There is.
I wanted to do a bro bomb joke there, but I just couldn't bring myself to it.
There is something that I really don't like in this movie, but it is on theme because this is supposed to be like
scarecrow sex.
No,
you love that.
No, yeah, we like that. Yeah.
What was it?
That was my favorite scene in Wizard of Oz. It's on par for like a 1920s movie is what this is supposed to be. But the thing I really hate is random dancing numbers and stuff. There's one that's particularly like, oh God. And it's because it's early in the movie before anything really is established. And you're just like, is this how this movie is going to go? And, but there is another
what we're going to do.
There's another one later on that is just, this is where the movie turns. And it's like, whoa, this is some creepy psychological next level craziness going on here. There is one huge minus for this is there's killing of a lot of cute, innocent animals, like farm animals, brutally. And I don't like that at all. It's really bad. Yeah. Mia Goth, she is a strange young lady, but she acts her ass off. She acts her butt off in this movie. There's a extremely graphic dismemberment scene. There's a really, really freaky end credit scene that has no dialogue. The credits are rolling, but there's something going on in the background that is just odd, and it really burns into your you'll see it in the back of your mind for the rest of the night after watching this.
The dismemberment scene?
No, not even that. It's something that's not graphic or anything. It's very off-putting. It's really good.
She pours the milk first and then the cereal.
No, I mean, I'll spoil it because it's so inconsequential. It's just her staring into the camera, making these psycho faces. It's her like kind of faking emotions as a psychotic person. It's very weird. It's very weird. It's very weird. So popcorn in 1 for this movie.
Popcorn in 1 for Pearl. And the last movie review of this week
is I watched Late Night with the Devil, and I was dying to see this one. Yeah, I was desperately scrambling to find a way to watch this. this movie has like 10 producers. Because, like at the beginning of a movie, there's like graphics and it's like produced by blah, 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 Lionsgate, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This had like 10 of those things going on here, which makes sense because it was like a super indie movie. So they probably needed a lot of contributors and stuff to get this movie made.
Yeah.
The guy who starred in it is that really weird looking guy from every movie where there's a weird looking guy. He's that guy.
Man.
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
He's that guy. I don't know his name. He has a really weird name as well, but he was great. He was really good in this movie.
He's great.
It starts off with a really, really long exposition, like a monologue of, giving you the backstory of what led up to this dramatic series of events. He plays a late night host that is in competition with Johnny Carson. It's grounded in reality, a lot of real scenarios.
It's based on a real thing that happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was listening to an interview about this movie, and apparently it's based on a stunt. It's based on a stunt that somebody tried to pull. Like, it's actually based on an event where somebody tried to pull this off. This just obviously, fictionalizes it a little bit more. But somebody did try to pull this off, and the actor's name is David Dastmalchian.
Dalmatian.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. But yeah, the guy, the voice doing the narration in the beginning sounds like Optimus Prime, so that's really like, it's just a weird way. It's a weird tone to set for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it takes you out of it at the very beginning, so it kind of has to regain your trust in your kind of what this is. The demon, I've mentioned this in a review of a past movie, I don't know what, where like they named the demon something really, really stupid, like Toby or
Beelzebub.
Yeah. And so the demon, and on par with that, this is up there with the worst, because the demon's name is Mr. Wriggles.
No!
Which just sounds like a pervert. Yeah.
It would be so good if it was voiced by Rob Riggle.
Mr. Wriggles, because he wriggles his way in and then just wriggles his way back out, is the way he's explained. That's not good. Something really creepy happened. My power started surging at like the most perfect moments in this movie. That it really resold this movie to me personally. It's just so a lot of the rest of my review is just based on my personal experience. But it really added some ambiance to this movie that kind of needed it at some good, really, really, really excellent points of the movie. But the effects get really wonky at the end. Most of the movie, they're good. They're decent for a kind of low budget indie movie, but they get a little wonky at the very end, but it's not enough to make me be like, oh God, why? It's fine. I could get through that. This is artsy horror done well. This is how it should be done. It's a very non-cathartic ending. You don't get that, solid closure that you want, but it's fine. It's one of those instances where they did it well. It's a very short movie. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah. I recommend this. I'm a hardcore horror person. I watch it all, the really gory stuff, the bad stuff. This was good. If you watch it, I give this a popcorn and 2, actually.
Wow. 2.
Yeah.
All right. I've been wanting to see it too. And right when I got ready to see it, they pulled it out of the theater. Same with Love Lies Bleeding. I wanted to go see Love Lies Bleeding in the theaters, and they pulled that from the theaters. And Anna made the joke, that is my wife, to the audience. She's like, wow, it was so bad they pulled it after the first week. And I was like, yeah, but I still wanted to see it. I still wanted to go see it. So I get that, Jordan. That affliction of like, sometimes you're just, even if it's bad, you're like, I still want to go see it.
Yeah. I have a weird observation. I have a weird observation in the world of movies and actors and stuff. I noticed that Maya Hawke, Ben Platt, and Viggo Mortensen dropped music albums this week. Didn't listen to any of them. This Friday.
What do you think Viggo Mortensen plays?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna check them out. I didn't at the moment, but I was like, what's going on?
Eminem.
He dropped a song that is amusing. It's very entertaining. It's amusing.
It's Houdini, right? Is the name of the song? It's the name of the album too.
Abracadabra. You make me. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways.
So what's funny, Jordan, where I was going with that is a movie that you reviewed for us last year was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
And this week is the release of the sequel, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. And I was reading an article on this, and there is a whole universe they're building out. They're going to build out an entire universe dedicated to this.
Yeah, no, thank you. I watched the first one. I watched the first one for you all as a service so that you don't have to watch it. But, you know, I got to have some self-respect a little bit here. I'm not going to watch that at all.
Not going to happen?
Nah, dude, proceed on your own volition. I won't. I won't be. No.
Do you know the third one's going to be Bambi in the universe?
Oh,
I don't want this. Nobody wants this.
No.
You know, who's writing this? You know who's writing this? The
It's
same people that
made.
used to make those black T-shirts in the 2000s that say like "I see dead people." Like those are the writers of this universe. I hate you.
Well, they're just trying to capitalize on things becoming public domain Disney property. So it's like, what's next? Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie's going to be eating people.
That's what's next.
Yeah.
Goofy, but as a person.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our butter on top this week, and it is the 4th installment in the Bad Boys franchise, Bad Boys Ride or Die. So, welcome back, Will Smith, or maybe we'll see if you're back, but this is his coming out film. I mean, like, honestly, he just slapped somebody. Everybody relax. Everybody breathe.
You know what? You know what he needs to do in this movie? Just get the shit slapped out of him by some character.
Slap yourself.
By Martin Lawrence. Yeah. By Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence is the comedian in this, right?
Perfect. Yeah, let Martin Lawrence slap the shit out of him. And that'll be cool. Like, now we're good. Corporal punishment.
Be self-aware. Be self-aware, Will Smith.
Yeah.
All right, and Jordan, it's your drunk classic this week. So what is on the agenda?
So I'm going with a summer, the beginning of summer film.
Oh, I'm riveted.
It's a little bit of an indie. All right.
You're back.
I'm back.
You're going with
Yeah, it is a summer, beginning of summer type of film. It's a melodramedy, takes place in the early 90s, New York City, rap influenced. It stars Josh Peck and Ben Kingsley, and it is called The Whackness.
I've never seen it. I know the movie. I've never seen it.
I've never heard of
The
this.
Whackness.
But I like Sir Ben Kingsley.
I love that he does weird stuff. That's what I like about Ben Kingsley.
This is a teenage coming of age kind of movie for me.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Do it.
Yeah.
It inspired Jordan's first 2 albums.
Yeah.
All right. So The Whackness is going to be our drunk classic. Jordan got both of us. I think that's the first time Jordan's gotten both of us. No. Neither one of us had seen Blind Spotting all the way through, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my effects.
So he's got us.
There we go.
So he's got us with The Whackness. And remember, the butter on top is Bad Boys Do or Die, the 4th installment in the Bad Boys franchise. So, for everyone coming out and watching us each and every week, we appreciate you. As always, we will see you at the movies. You get the popcorn, and we've got the beer.